Hey everybody, welcome to Camera Mageddon. If you are watching this across two channels, you know Alex and I are working on basically the same video.
Yes, it's kind of sort of. Mine's going to be way shorter and more edited, and Tommy's is going to be all real, so, uh-oh.
It's a little bit of a podcast going on here, so welcome to the TFL Talk Podcast, if you're listening on all your podcast platforms. But Alex, introduce yourself.
Yep, so welcome to Auto Buyer's Guide, and I'm going to tell you about Goodwood, and we're going to wander around Goodwood together and see all the cool stuff here and talk about, like, what you can expect if you make the pilgrimage to the Festival of Speed.
And of course, I'm Tommy with TFL Studios, and in this video, we're going to show you all the highlights from the 2023 Goodwood Festival of Speed, starting with where we're standing right now. I'll actually grab
the Hyundai N booth. Let's talk about N time.
I grabbed the camera. So, Hyundai has chosen Goodwood to reveal a very special new product, right, Alex?
Yes, but it's not this performance periwinkle model in front of us. It's actually the one behind that.
Yeah, so this is the world debut of the new Hyundai Ioniq 5N, the high-performance Ioniq 5.
Yeah, look at that one. 641 horsepower in an electric Hyundai hatchback. That is absolutely epic. Look at that. More on that, of course, in separate videos, because we're going to be both doing deep dives into the new Ioniq 5N.
So this is a 641 horsepower Ioniq 5. It's been wide-bodied. It's got new suspension. It's got a bunch of really interesting features. And I think the most interesting feature, Alex, is it's got a shiftable 8-speed simulated automatic.
Well, you know, shiftable. It's got imitation gears on an EV, which I think, should we do dueling camera wars? Which I think is a little bit silly, to be perfectly honest. I want my EV to just do an EV thing, just like I want a CVT to just be a CVT, but that is not what's going on here. Now, it is disableable, so if you prefer that seamless power, then you can get that in the Ioniq 5N as well.
And when we say shiftable, it will actually dip the torque and change the output of the motor, and you can actually lug the motor. You can, in theory, hit a rev limiter as well, all on this electric architecture.
Yeah, and of course it'll make imitation engine sounds, all that good stuff, along with the fake shifting.
Let's check out the inside really quick. So pretty aggressive bucket seats. And here you can see some changes for the interior layout. So for example, that is a fixed center stack with a bracing point for your knee.
Yeah, that's what they say. I'm kind of interested in that because I wasn't the biggest fan of the really loose center that we have in the regular Ioniq 5. I think that is kind of an interesting twist.
Yeah, and then
still lots of room back there, it looks like, for you, Tommy.
Loads of room. Bunch of exterior changes too, like the wheels, 21-inch wheels.
Massive wheels, massive tires too, 275 35 R21s. The biggest brakes that we've ever found in an N car, almost 16 inches up front.
And then coming around to the back, you still have the pixel theme very much accentuated, and then a lower diffuser as well.
Yeah, and even more pixels on the Ioniq 5N than we have seen before.
The crazy thing, Alex, is that this vehicle also has sounds, right?
Yes, lots and lots of 3 different sound profiles, and they're all configurable as well. You can actually configure those individual sound profiles, how loud you want them to be, and how they integrate with the accelerator pedal and the braking. It's really an interesting twist. I think it's a little bit too boy racer for me. I would turn them all off.
Okay, I want to try them because one of them is called Ignition, and it's modeled after the 2-liter turbo from other N cars. So I'm excited to see what that sounds like. There's one that sounds like rocket ships in space, and there's one that's very like future age. So we're gonna have to get kind of behind the wheel and see what it's like. But Alex, do we dare venture outside, check out some other things here at Goodwood?
Let's go ahead and go this way, Tommy. Let's see what else we find here, because this is sort of, you know, car show meets SEMA meets racetrack, everything all jammed together here. So pretty much all the major performance brands are here at Goodwood. We have, of course, Pirelli tires over there. We have Polestar lurking in the distance, Porsche, Ferrari, etc. They're all here. Porsche's here in a huge way, right?
Huge way. They've got a whole alley full of historic race cars that they've brought out. And this is a really interesting one to me. Tesla has a presence at an event, which is something you almost would never see back at home.
And you know, Tesla said that they're going to be doing a lot more marketing this year than they have ever done before. Well, marketing than they've ever done before. And this might be what they mean by that, consumer-focused events. You know, they've turned up at auto shows in the past, of course, but not quite to this level, which I think is interesting.
The Model Y, by the way, is the best-selling EV here in the United Kingdom.
Of course, yeah. Best-selling in the US too, of course.
We actually met a viewer who sells EVs through a broker, and he said he cannot get enough Model Ys. They're just flying off the shelf.
Yeah.
But the Tesla lineup is the same here in the UK as it is in the US. Got the Y, got the 3.
Except the steering wheel's on the wrong side for these guys, but if you are lucky enough, well, depending how you look at it, to buy a Model S or a Model X, then you will get the steering wheel on the wrong side for the UK.
This is pretty cool. They're showing off Tesla service here.
Yeah,
and what's
Tesla
really cool
mobile
about
service.
this is in the trunk they actually have full set of tools and stuff.
Yeah, Tesla service car, that's kind of cool.
This is a right-hand drive too, of course.
Yeah, this one's right-hand drive. The 3 and the Y are right-hand drive. The S and the X, starting actually, I guess, last month, are now left-hand drive in the UK. People are getting upset about that. But of course, Tesla has said, don't worry, we're going to give you a little ticket grabber free with the purchase of your S or X.
Now, what's cool about this event, as you mentioned, Alex, is that you've got the hill climb, which is what it's centered around. It's just past these buildings.
You can see the stands for the hill climb over there. You can actually watch that.
And then before they race up the hill climb, they bring all their new models out to these little tents. And all these people mulling around, they're not journalists. They're just people that showed up.
Yeah, it's just you and everybody else that can come out and do this.
So
we got Lotus out here.
This is the new Lotus
area.
Electra. This is a
Electra, yeah.
new fully electric SUV. Do you like the look of it?
I think it looks pretty good. It does look, I think, a little bit anonymous electric up front. The interesting part, of course, is that Lotus is owned by the same company over here that owns Polestar and half of Volvo, and well, actually a little bit more than half of Volvo. Geely, they own the London Taxi Company. Lots of different companies.
Right.
Here are the latest Polestars. That is the new Polestar concept sedan right there in the middle.
Yep, Polestar
and this
5.
is the Polestar 3 that's going to be built in South Carolina starting later this year.
Now, this is their new crossover SUV, right? Fully electric.
Yep, this is designed to compete with the Porsche Cayenne, a two-row mid-size vehicle. Related to the same platform that's used in the Volvo EX90, but here it's a two-row mid-size rather than the three-row format.
Absolutely fantastic looking car, I think. They really nailed
looks great.
The design, yeah. And I like this new air curtain they've got in the front. I don't know if you can see that, but air actually passes over the hood.
Yeah, that is a really cool design cue right there. Obviously it's aero related, but it probably also has a bit of a safety component for passenger safety, which is definitely very important for the European market.
Let's check out really quick the Polestar 5, Alex. So this is the new fully electric sedan that they just
yeah, this is the high-performance sedan. So this will be the Tesla Model S competitor, obviously a Lucid Air competitor as well. I have to say that looks really good in person. And the interior obviously is not quite what we're going to get in the final one, but it looks pretty close.
Yeah, right.
I like the proportions. It is much bigger in person than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's a big car. Once again, very angular front end with the little kind of Thor hammer design still incorporated there.
Look at that long hood. That is an extraordinarily long hood for an electric car.
Pretty attractive overall, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I'm really intrigued by the Polestar 5 and when we see that in the US.
Polestar staying busy here with new offerings.
Here's a Ristorante, one, a 1963.
Getting nice and rained on now, Alex.
This is a typical British summer, of course, which is why I love it, because I do not do hot.
So making our way over here, we got Alpine. Alpine, of course, is known for making small, fun to drive, fast, quick sports cars. The Alpine 110 is right there. I believe this is a new electric model of the mid-engine, the sports car, supercar almost.
That is pretty cool looking.
Very, very cool. Yep, carbon hood there with the little stripes across the front.
Yeah.
And then this is really cool. This was just debuted too. This is a throwback to the rally car, the A290.
This is electric here with that central steering wheel, kind of wacky.
Yeah, it's just pure race car, of course, but really cool to see. And then there's the internal combustion version of the Alpine. And Toyota's got a
Over here we got Toyota, yeah.
Pretty good
with
size
some BMWs.
Pretty good sized presence here at Goodwood, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, well, BMW has a better presence, I guess, because, you know, that Supra is just the BMW Z4.
I really like this. This is
I really like the Mirai.
Mirai Sport concept. It's got some GR goodies on it, like the carbon hood here.
Pilot Sport S5.
Enormous wheels. Yeah, these are the new Michelin Pilot Sports. I just drove these on the Aston DB12. Yeah. And these are some of the most impressive tires I've driven in a long time.
Lots of carbon fiber bits, carbon fiber trunk lid, things like that. It's kind of cool.
We've seen a number of hydrogen vehicles. And Alex, we got to make our way over here because something really cool has just debuted over here as well. What's this little blue thing?
This is the Ford Explorer EV, but not the Explorer you're thinking about. This is a compact two-row Ford Explorer that's going to be built in Germany in the Ford factory, but is related to the Volkswagen ID3 and ID4, of course the ID Buzz as well.
Yeah, it's an MEB architecture. So this is
Yeah.
marketed as a Ford Explorer, but underneath it's a Volkswagen. So 77 kilowatt hour battery, rear wheel drive or all wheel drive. A pretty attractive little unit.
I really like the look. This is apparently going to be about the same size as a Bronco Sport that we would get in North America, but probably will never come to North America, although Ford has said that we will get our own electric Ford Explorer at some point.
Now it is locked and closed, but some interesting things worth noting on the inside. Screen layout, very different than the ID4. So it's got this vertical 15-inch screen mounted there across the middle. Steering wheel's very Ford as well, but then it only has, we discovered, 2 window switches.
Yeah.
Like the ID4. And then, a classic way to know it's based on the Volkswagen platform, drum brakes in the rear. Why drum brakes in the back?
That's
Alex?
actually quite logical for an EV. Lower friction when not engaged versus a disc brake gives you longer range.
And then making our way back to the rear here, you got very Explorer-like type taillight. Explorer spelled out across the rear. So this is about the size of like a Mach-E thereabouts.
Yep.
It competes with the Mach-E, but they're selling both here in Europe.
Yeah, of course, if you want to know more, you should check out both of our videos on that. We both have videos on it, so let's move on and see what else they've got here.
Yeah, 100%.
Over here we have the Dark Horse. We're both going to be driving that soon.
Yeah, this is the Mustang. A lot
Stay
of
tuned
interest.
for that.
Left-hand drive this car, but a lot of interest in the UK around the Dark Horse.
And this is a Mach-E actually designed for off-road finally, a little bit. It's got, installable recovery hook there. Looks like we're going to get unique suspension. We get these really interesting white alloy wheels. Not the biggest fan of those, but it looks like we're going to get a little bit of extra ground clearance as well.
BFG tires too, Alex. What's cool about this is the Mach-E Rally.
Look at
this
this
is
big wing.
This is a car coming to the States, so this is not some concept. Apparently it's going into production. Look at that huge wing in the back.
That is enormous.
That is a cool looking ride. So Ford is embracing some of that cool rally trend that everyone's so obsessed with nowadays.
Yeah,
and
you gotta pardon me
they're
while I
bringing it to
wipe
the
my
Mach-E.
lens, everybody, so sorry for wiping you away.
You like the wheels?
I am not the biggest fan of those wheels. They, I don't know. The 80s was a while ago. I don't need to go back there.
Well, that's a bad take, Alex, I have to say. High back bucket seats, too. Look at that on the inside.
The 80s called. They want their alloy wheels back.
No, it's cool. I mean, they also have some tweaks to the front end, like these high output fog lights in the front.
Those are pretty cool. I do like that tweaked front end. Since we don't need any cooling there, why not stick some lights in there? I like that.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did a really
Over
good
here
job.
we have the MG Cyberster. This is going to be one of the most affordable electric roadsters available in the world, and one of the first as well. So you can see it has a convertible top there. That looks pretty cool.
So MG is, of course, a famous British mark, but is now owned by SAIC, which is a Chinese company.
Shanghai Automobile International Corporation, something like that.
And they apparently are building some very sought-after cars here in the UK. This little green car next to it's called the MG4, the second best-selling EV in the UK after the Model Y.
Yeah, and the best-selling with actual private customers, not corporate lessees. So that's really kind of cool. It also comes in matte paint. Really cool headlights. If you want to know more about that, you got a video on that, right?
I do, yeah. I'll show the headlights. These are really
Yep.
cool. They actually shine up at these reflectors that shine forward. But this car starts at $26,000, which are £1,000.
Well, pounds.
Yeah, which
It's
is
probably going to be around, if it ever came to the US, somehow could, which it's not, absolutely not, probably around 35.
But it absolutely undercuts all the competition by thousands of pounds, which is cool. So
Over here in this electric tent, we have lots of cool, funky things. I don't think we have time to breeze through all of them, do we? But let's definitely go. Let's avoid the speakers over here and definitely go to the funkiest of the options, which has to be the one with funky in its name. This is, I kid you not, the Aura Funky Cat.
Yep, this is a real car sold right now in the United Kingdom, made by Chinese manufacturer Great Wall. But you gotta look at the front end design of the Funky Cat.
Yeah, this is really interesting. This is like Fiat meets Mini meets Porsche almost with this front end.
Look at that!
Like there are certainly design angles where you can see it and you can see a little bit of Porsche. If you kind of come down low like that, you kind of see a little Porsche.
32,000 pounds here in the UK.
Very inexpensive. I think the interior is fantastic. The interior is sort of a blend of Fiat meets Mini, etc. I love this two-color interior and also really big screens there. It just looks really fun, actually.
Looks really, really good.
And the back seat, we sat on that earlier. Again, if you want to know more about that, Tommy has a video on this one. But we sat in the back seat, and you can put real humans in the back.
Now, Alex, I want to go over here because there's some other interesting things going on over here. So Genesis, of course, has brought out their new coupe.
But you know what? You know what's cooler than that Genesis?
What?
That EV9 right over there.
Oh yeah, let's go check that out. So Kia has a big presence here, and they actually have a big presence in the UK. They sell a ton of them here.
Yeah, I was surprised. Kia sells more cars in the UK than, actually in Europe, than Hyundai does at the moment. And this EV9 looks really fantastic in person. If you want to know more about this, I'm actually going to be doing a full video on this next week.
First time seeing it in person, Alex, but kind of the angularness of the panels and the way that the black interacts with the blue, I think is a really good look.
Yeah, they've done a really good job. Matte paint again, lots of pixels going on there. But the squareness and the size of this, so you haven't actually been in the EV9 yet?
I've never seen it.
Ah, okay. I went to its international debut, and the back seat is really, really great. It is huge. And because the floor is completely flat in the back, since you don't have a differential as in a gasoline car, the back seats, actually, your legs aren't in your chest. So I was really shocked about that. This is more comfortable than the Telluride.
Is this Telluride sized?
It is Telluride sized on the outside, approximately, and slightly bigger than Telluride inside.
All right, let's take a,
We're not going to get these digital camera side view mirrors though, sorry guys.
Yeah, what is this? This is a camera, right?
This is a camera for other world markets. In North America, FMVSS does not allow camera side sight devices yet. So no side view cameras.
All right, let's go zoom across the way here. So this is a better look at those Ioniq 5Ns that we were talking about earlier.
Dueling Ioniq 5Ns, drift spec as well. There's that one's missing, but it'll be back a little bit later. They're all going to get a drift mode, which I think is really cool. So that actually helps you start the drift by allowing you to really spike the torque to the rear motor so that way you can get that spin going.
These guys, by the way, see this on the front of it. On the standard Ioniq 5, that's just a design element, but in this vehicle, it's actually there to provide additional cooling to the powertrain.
Yeah, that's a really cool touch.
Yeah, really cool. All right, let's keep moving down the line here. I want to point out some of the interesting things we've been seeing is this huge push of some of these new Chinese manufacturers.
Oh, yes.
Like this car right here is called the Hi-Fi.
Yep, and I think Hi-Fi would be better, but...
Well, they call it the Hi-Fi.
But it is a Hi-Fi like Wi-Fi, we checked.
I mean, it looks like it's something out of Tron, and this isn't some concept. These are production vehicles.
Yeah, and it's really good looking inside. I hate to keep plugging your stuff, Tommy, because, I should plug my own stuff, but you have a video on this as well that they should definitely check out. This one is slightly different than the one we looked at in that video, though, because this one does not have those bird wing doors, and instead it has
suicide
LEDs
doors
on the side.
What the heck? That is absolutely crazy. And you can see they're actually interactive LEDs on the side of the vehicle.
Yeah, interactive LEDs and suicide doors in the back.
And look at the back. Once again, crazy use of new LED components.
Lots and lots of LEDs going on there.
Alex, I kind of feel like the Chinese manufacturers are like where Hyundai was 20 years ago, but are building even quicker.
And right next door we have a Maserati.
Yep, this is the new Grecale.
The new Grecale, yeah. Don't worry, that'll be coming up soon.
Pretty good looking little crossover, I would say, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I've always liked the Grecale. The Maserati lineup rather, and this looks like a really good fit. I think it's exactly what we need to see from them right now to.
This is a Levante.
Oh, it's a Levante. Sorry. Oops. Our bad.
V8 Ultra. The Grecale was on the other side. And then making our way over here, this is the new electric Caterham.
Oh yes, yeah.
A lot of interest around this. Look at all the people.
Pretty busy over there.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going, Alex.
Let's continue this way.
So, the thing about Goodwood is there's just so much going on where you can see the grandstands for the track are on that side.
And then the official shop.
The automakers. Well, we got to zoom through Porsche because this has been...
There's the paddock with the grandstands. Yeah, you can see, and you can cross the track and see it from either side. That's actually not as crowded today as it was yesterday, though.
I think the rain's keeping people out, Alex. This has been one of the highlights of the show, though. This is the new Porsche 911 Dakar.
Yeah, that looks pretty darn cool.
It's their lifted 911 in, of course, the old school Porsche livery, rough roads racing. And it's got the roof rack, it's got the slight lift, based on the 911 GTS, but an absolutely fantastic looking ride. Porsche's got the new Cayenne out here with a pretty big presence as well.
Got Aston Martin over here.
Yep, so they got the DBX out here. And then, if we keep going, Some other interesting models have also made an appearance.
Yeah, like BMW's new iX Hydrogen. Again, Europe definitely seems to love the hydrogens. Ineos Grenadier brought out the hydrogen concept, which is actually going to be using the same fuel cell as this BMW i5. Of course, the iX5 hydrogen uses the same cells as the Toyota Mirai, only they're assembled in a BMW factory in Germany. And that's going to be available in Europe soon.
What's interesting about this hydrogen X5 is that so many of the hydrogen vehicles we've seen up to this point, like the offerings from Toyota and Hyundai, have been kind of weird looking.
Yeah, and this looks like a regular BMW i.
Yeah, this
BMW
is like
X5 rather.
Standard car, which is really cool. Even the inside.
Yep.
It says hydrogen, but there's nothing that outlandish about it.
Yeah. Also, pretty similar to what's going on over here with the Ineos Grenadier. If you haven't checked them out, you should definitely see them too. We have videos on that as well.
Alex, you're missing the big news here, buddy.
Oh yes, the BMW i5 is right next door.
This is the new 5 Series, of course, from BMW. And this is the electrified version.
Yeah, because BMW is giving us electric and gasoline versions of the same car rather than Mercedes, where they're designing an entire new one. This is the first time you and I have been up close with the new Grenadier hydrogen fuel cell demo vehicle, though. What struck me first is this absolutely enormous hump up front, because the fuel cell does take up more room than BMW's inline 6. It's actually more appropriately sized to the 8-cylinder engine that's in the X5, which is why that does not have an enormous beluga bump up front. But we definitely have one over here.
The Grenadier is a new model manufactured by a company called Ineos, which is pushing the bounds of four-wheel drive utility vehicles. So this is a solid axle vehicle, currently on sale in the UK with inline 6 petrol and diesel variants.
And then, of course, you can get it as a pickup truck.
So this is a brand new model that
this is the one I want.
They just debuted here at Festival of Speed. This is called the Quartermaster. So it's based on the Grenadier, but it's got a 5-foot bed, and it's actually a pretty good sized bed for a vehicle of the shape.
And what's intriguing about the bed for some coming from North America is it's a 5-foot bed, but it's actually closer to a 5-foot bed that you would find on a half-ton truck than a mid-size truck. It's fairly wide. And they said that was done so that way it can accommodate a European average pallet, which is differently dimensioned than the pallets that we find in North America.
But solid axle vehicle, so beam axle front and back, body on frame, about 7,000 pounds of towing capacity.
Yep.
And a really attractive vehicle. I think that's a really interesting.
It's about 1,600 pounds of payload, they said in this one.
Starting price here in the UK is 73,000 pounds, which is going to be close to 80,000 US.
Yeah, a little pricey. And of course, in the US, we might get extra taxed on that one, since it is a truck and it's going to be imported, apparently.
But Alex, here, let's make our way down here. We'll do a quick little tour and then we'll wrap it up. What's been your impression of Goodwood?
It's fantastic. I like the combination of car show meets, you get Wera tools. If anybody's interested in tools, I love Wera's tools, screwdrivers, ratchet sets, etc. I'm kind of a tool nerd, so that's over there. They're fantastic. But all the accessory manufacturers, chemical guys and their car wash stuff is here, etc. eBay's right over there. So all that's going on. Then there are debuts that you can actually attend. So we were both a little bit salty about this for a while. It's not Hyundai's fault, but the Ioniq 5N actual debut, there's 7-year-old kids running around right in front of it. So if you want to take your kids to world debuts of new cars, they can actually do that at Goodwood.
Yeah, and it's not like you were behind like a barrier. I mean, they were right up
right there. Kids got to go hop in the door just as soon as we did.
Yeah, but they've got everything for car enthusiasts here, from not only new car manufacturers, but aftermarket part suppliers. They got ice cream, they got food, they got expensive tickets. I think it's pretty pricey to get into Goodwood.
It is, but of course you can come and you can get your 99.
What's a 99, Alex?
Tommy got the 99. It's the whippy in the coronet with the flake. It's an essential combination. Missing any of those elements, it is not a 99.
Now this is largely a supercar show, so we've seen a huge number of really high-performance vehicles being debuted, like the new Aston Martin Valor, which was debuted at Goodwood, but is not actually here as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed in that.
And then an electric 911 concept, I think, was also debuted around this time.
You can buy some used cars here. There were some very nicely restored vehicles. There's some high-end classics that are for sale in some of these booths.
Not just used cars, Alex. You can buy a converted Citroen 2CV that's gone electric.
Yes, and you can buy the conversion kit right in this this booth right here. Let's narrow in on the funky electric Citroens.
It's a Citroën, Alex.
Yes, I don't speak French, so sorry about that. I failed French actually twice. 10 kilowatt battery, that's kind of cool. 15 kilowatt motor, a little bit less cool. Range 65 miles, sounds very optimistic to me.
Well, they're saying sympathetic to the original 602cc performance. I happen to own one of those, and that is not going to be a very high performance
van.
model.
That is fantastic.
Yes, it's pretty cool.
And they claim it's only about 60 kilos heavier than the original Citroen.
30, I think, isn't it? 60? It's something like that.
Something like that.
But yeah, so you can have the classic car look with an EV power. You like that idea, Alex? You like the converted
I
thing?
like that idea. The range, though, that is definitely a bit of a bummer, since it obviously was not designed for the battery in there. Range is going to be a little bit problematic.
So, other cool thing, right, is if you are looking for examples of what you can do, like in this case with your plastic Porsche 911, tractive suspension has an option. There's boats here, there's food here, there's tool companies and tool suppliers.
There's inflatable hot tubs here. Look at that.
My favorite one, though, Alex, we got to go take him to the Ram booth, because this is the most...
Yes, there is a Ram TRX here, which is not its native habitat. Let's just put it that way.
So this is classic Goodwood here, right? The Ferrari collection.
Absolutely fantastic, yeah.
Right, that's classic to what to expect. And then when you come around the bend, you see the latest and greatest in hypercar from Ferrari. You see Norton motorcycles, classic British brand, iconic for their cafe racer bikes.
And then we see a pickup truck with more horsepower than most Ferraris.
You see a bright yellow Ram
Of course they
TRX.
brought a yellow one. Of course they did.
This is absolutely fantastic. Now,
And you can win apparently a week in a Ram 1500, probably not the TRX, but you can win a week in a Ram 1500 pickup truck, which I think is hilarious because I would be absolutely frightened to death to drive that around anywhere here.
I have found kind of some amusement with the Brits' interest in the Ram trucks. It's actually a really busy booth. A lot of folks are interested.
Yeah.
I think you can buy the Ram trucks here in the UK.
In some areas you can, and so, of course some areas in Europe you can buy them, but they're gray market imports. But yeah, it's let's just say you're not finding too many of these in London.
But they got double Challengers in there too, so if you want an experience with the Challenger here in the UK.
You can scan that and win it for a week, everybody.
As Alex so kindly pointed out,
7 days.
we can call up a Ram contact and get a week with the Ram.
Yes, we get weeks with Rams all the time. It's not so special, but
that's because we're very grateful for our jobs.
I'm not driving it around Hampshire, so you know.
And then walking up a lot of these booths, man, Alex, you're right, a lot of tool manufacturers.
There are.
Oh, this is cool. So these are Volkswagen vans, all-wheel drive vans that a company's been outfitting to,
Yeah.
all sorts of different specifications.
And what are they going to be doing when the ID Buzz is the only Volkswagen van we can get?
Which is funny though, Alex, because in US, for outfitters, you really have the Sprinter and you have the Transit and the ProMaster. But here in the UK, you got everything from Volkswagen to Peugeot to Citroën, right? All these different manufacturers have a van that can be outfitted.
This is very true.
All right,
Even
Alex.
Fiat has a van.
Well, they do have a van, don't they?
They do have a van.
The Ducato, I think it's called. So this is cool too. There's actually people out here buying classic cars. So various dealerships bring in like this Cortina or those Aston DB9s to come by. This is an interesting company. What do we got here, Alex? Segway.
We have Segway mobility devices, scooters, Segway ATVs, Segway side-by-sides.
Look at that.
That's kind of cool.
Very interesting. And that looks very Polaris.
It does look very Polaris.
Is it electric? Let's see.
That's a good question. I believe they
No,
are.
4-stroke, 2-cylinder,
Oh, wah wah.
105 horsepower. Oh, that's got to be pretty fast. 18,000 pounds.
Yep.
All right, Alex, I think we should probably start wrapping it up here.
Yep, and the way we have to stop, of course, is to walk into the Great British Fudge Company and buy something fudge related.
Is that a must?
I think we must.
So clearly based on the old London bus there, but yeah, look at that. Very, very tasty. So Alex, are you going to be coming back to Goodwood? Is this worth the trip?
This is definitely worth the trip. I don't know if I'm going to come back. I mean, we'll have to see what the future holds. I try not to predict.
Well, my battery died as we were wrapping up, but I do want to show you the coolest part of Goodwood, which are all the cars flying up the hill climb. You can sit here as a fan and just watch them for hours. A really unique experience that is pretty unusual to this event. Big thank you to Alex for putting this together with me. Sorry my mic died there as we were wrapping up, but we'll see you on the next one.